Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be making what you might think is a bit of an outdated video, and that's because I'm going to be doing a full product tour and a review. But the reason I'm going to be making a review of this Sanyo Xacti VPC-SH1 is because although it's a 2-year-old product thereabouts, it's also, in my opinion, a decent product still for today, and that's why I wanted to make this review. It's very well you having a review that was 2 years old, which you might not know whether that still applies to today, but it's also very good to have an up-to-date sort of review, which is why I decided to make this product review. As you can see, I have the red version. Now this also comes in the black version too, but personally I just think the red version has a bit more of a professional finish. In this video I will also be doing a full product tour, so you'll be able to see the insides of this device, not the internals, but when the screen has been flipped open, and also of all the different buttons and functions and what have you. But talking about that, I will just quickly mention that in this video, first of all I'm going to be doing a full product tour, and second of all I'm going to be then giving you some advice on whether I think it's worth it and who I think this device is good for. So let's get on straight on with the product tour. From this side there's really nothing to show, just the flip out screen, nothing else at all. Turning the device over, and all we have there the zoom. Now the zoom is just a very good zoom actually, to be honest with you. This is not your average rubbish zoom, this is very precise. You can move this ever so slightly and you will get a really good zoom on it. Now next we have these other two buttons. Now normally on this button you would have a little painted video icon, but due to where it's rubbed out. Now these two buttons pretty much imitate the two on the back, but what they do is they allow you to either shoot a photo or a video completely from the top. So if you want sort of like to be taking the photo kind of down there, then it just makes it easier for you to do so. So now I'm going to flip the device over and we can take a product tour of the top. Alright, so on the top, as you can see, we've got the menu button which gets you full access to the whole on-screen menu. I'm going to be showing you that later on this video, so stay tuned for that. And like I said, on the back we also have the same buttons. All this means they do exactly the same thing, only it's for the back control. So if you're just using it normally sort of with a hand over like that, you can just access them a lot more easily. And now we've got the set button. Now this is kind of a joypad sort of feeling. It's a little bit, how can I put it? It's a little bit annoying. It's like having a little nipple attached to it. So it is a little bit annoying to manipulate, but you do get used to it. If you've got big hands, I have to admit it can be rather annoying. But like I said, a little bit of time, you'll soon get used to it and learn to be using it well. On the back of the device, just a simple tripod mount, nothing else. Now this thing here is basically just an additional tripod mounter. So basically it just gives you a little bit more stability. On most tripods you have this sort of, I don't know what you'd really call it, it's just basically an extra stability mount. You screw it on and then that clicks into place there. And on the top we have the lens. Well, obviously it has the lens cover on at the minute, so just taking off that lens now, and you can see the full wide angle zoom lens. So one more thing on the top, and that is the flash, because obviously this is a dual camera. You are going to be getting also a flash for the photos, so obviously not just videos but photos with a flash too. Pretty darn good. So now that's that done, I'm going to give you a full product tour of the menus. Before I do give you a full tour of the menus, I thought I would also include what is on the inside, because obviously that would then complete the product tour. So you've got your on and off button, your play button, so you can see back all of your photos and videos, and then you've also got a HDMI port, a USB AV out port, and also your SD card port, which is a little bit hidden and you have to open the screen to access it. So let's get straight on to the menus now, finally. Alright, so just before I get onto the menu, I know I'm keeping you in a bit of suspense here, I'm just going to show you the sort of displays options you will have while shooting. So on the top it tells you what sort of quality you're shooting in, and if you're shooting in video or photo. That is also a quality indicator, but that is obviously for video. That is your photo quality and that is your video quality. This tells you how long you've got left on the recording. Now obviously this is using internal memory, so you know you're not going to be getting that much recording time there. And this is just your image stabilization icon there, and how long left you have of the battery. So let's get straight onto the menu now. So just that, there we go. So it's a really straightforward menu. You're not going to need a degree to use this menu at all in the slightest. It's very easy to use. So going straight across, video. Video gives you the full different options for your video quality. as you can see here, we can have full HD, and then it just goes down in quality, all your usual types of video quality that you're usually used to these days. So going all the way down just to show you the options. I want to save on a bit of time of really reading out every single option, so if there's something that you want to see, just feel free to pause the video. So going on to the photo option, so here we go. This is if you want to be using this camera as a photography. This is if you want to be using this camera as a camera, if that makes sense. This is if you want to be using this camcorder as a camera, since this is a dual purpose camcorder. A little bit of something to get your head around, but you'll get used to it. So here are all the different options you have for photo. Really does range rather quite far. Okay, so going further on now, we have scene select. Scene select is, well, to be honest with you, I always keep it on auto. You have your usual scenes, and that really applies to both photo and video. It's pretty standard for any device. Like I said, nothing really, no degree needed for this. Now again, filter I always keep on no, simply because you don't really need one, you know, for professional shooting, or at least as professional as you can get on this camera. I usually just leave it on no. Alright, so going on further, flash. Flash is obviously if you're using this again as a camera and you want that flash on automatic, fully on or off. Self timer, well, I'm not going to tell you what self timer is. I think anyone with half a brain will know. So video stabilizer. This is the video stabilizer option, and I think, personally, I think this works very, very well. The video stabilizer on this really can stabilize your video. Photo stabilizer, to be honest with you, I have never used this because I never really use this as a camera. I usually just use the 60D as a camera. Focus. Now, this is something to talk about. Focus is a bit of a pain in the ass on this camera, I have to admit, and later on I will be talking even more about the focus, and when really I'm going to be telling you whether I recommend it or not. But this is just a menu option, sort of tool, so you've got normal, manual and super macro. Going even further down, focus mode, you've got 9-point autofocus or spot focus. I always just keep it selected on the 9-point autofocus. Exposure measure. Now again, this is a multi-central spot, similar to sort of what you would get on metering on cameras. I keep it on multi, so really you've got a full evaluative sort of option there. So going even further down, ISO. ISO, like on any device, is your sensitivity for the sensor. Now you can either keep it on 400 or go all the way up. Now to be honest with you, I keep it on auto simply because I think it's probably, well, I think it's probably just the best thing to do really. I like things to be done for me. Now that's ISO done, that is that menu finished, so going on to the third menu now. Okay, so white balance. Now white balance has a little thing that I do like, actually, a little feature that I like. You can actually have something called one push white balance. Now what one push white balance does is it means that you can sort of take a photo of a white surface, and what it will do then, it will make sure that everything white in that frame, it will be crystal white instead of a blurred sort of incandescent lighting, you know, orangey colour. You know, the sort of thing that you get, it's horrible. Okay, so going on to menu again, we have exposure, target a subject. Don't really use that very often. That's just if you want to really track a subject, a moving subject, such as if you're doing sports video, that sort of thing. Okay, so high sensitivity, digital zoom, never use that either. Record folder you can select, and that's pretty much it for your photo and video options. Now the further options such as clock set, info display, startup display, sound, post view, and then you've got your other option of different shortcuts and noise reduction, colour gamut, I love that word, image settings, brightness, language, and then going on to the last option, we have TV output, power save, file number, format, and finally reset settings if you've made a complete cock-up of the camera. So that is really all the menus. Now comes on to my advice on whether I think it's a good camera and really going through the points of the camera. So I'm just going to turn this off now. One point to mention before I do finish this video, it's worth noting that you can fully rotate the screen. So excellent if you want to do sort of portrait video mode for YouTube, for instance. Okay, so now, do I think this product is still worth the money? Well, that all depends on what you're after. Like I said, I wanted to talk about focus. Now, focus on this is very strange. It kind of has a mind of its own. Some days it's feeling happy and will focus for you very well. Other days it has a bit of a depressive mood on and just says, you know what, sod it. You know, that is the problem with this camera. The focus really has a mind of its own. So if you want something that's always going to be in focus on a shot, especially if you want to get close to something, probably this camera isn't for you. If you wanted to do YouTube videos like I am now, sort of reviews and that sort of thing, again, I wouldn't suggest it. This has terrible noise problems when you're shooting indoors. You can check out a video of me doing some samples of indoor sort of lighting and the sort of noise you'll get to get an idea of this. In natural lighting, if you want to use a camera for outdoor shooting, then this is brilliant. In natural lighting outdoors, there's no noise, the quality is excellent, and you don't have to remember really that you've only just paid £100 for an excellent quality outdoor camera. So really, if you want a camera for just £100 second hand, £200 second hand, and you're just going to be using it for outdoor shooting, then brilliant. The zoom on this is also very good, so if you want to get something in the objects outdoors, again, very good. Really, what I would really say to anyone thinking about buying this camera is, where are you going to be using it? Are you going to be using it indoors where there's bad lighting to film really whatever, or are you going to be using this outside? If it's the first option, then do not get this camera. You're going to have horrible quality. You would really have to compensate with lighting. You would have to buy really good studio lighting. And to be honest with you, if you're going to be buying studio lighting, then why not get a full professional camera? If you want to use this outdoors just for on the holiday, for instance, I think this is an excellent camera and still worth the £200. I would definitely go for it. So thank you all very much for watching this video. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe, why not? And until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later.